Hello friends, welcome back to our little coffee club. Today I'm gonna tell you guys about what was in that little box on top of the Lelit Bianca when I filmed the unboxing. Well, as you can see from the name of the thumbnail, I got an ACAIA Lunar. Now the curiosity got the best of me. That is the only reason why I got it. I have to say, you guys have seen my little bit of struggles with the Timemore Black Mirror Nano scale. There's already a review on the channel and my thoughts on that scale and the two scales I've been using. They're both from Timemore. I really like them, but there are a few little issues that you guys have seen me struggle with. As far as the ACAIA Lunar, so I recently just started using it and I filmed a little unboxing. I don't know if I'm gonna include that in this video. Perhaps I will, but you might see it somewhere in here when I unboxed it and some of my first thoughts as I was unboxing the scale. But all right, so I've been filming a lot of videos today. So I just finished filming an unboxing of my new Lelit Bianca version 3. If you guys want to see that unboxing video and a couple of tips as to, well, I'm gonna do a standalone video as to the installation of the water filter into the water tank. So again, I'm gonna probably just do that as like a standalone video. In this unboxing of the little box, I'll probably include in an upcoming video, but I'll probably do a standalone video as well as to the unboxing of this item. But it's time to find out what's in it. Now, I have a feeling I'm gonna unbox it today. I don't wanna wait, and I have to unbox it now just to make sure they send me the right one. I have a feeling the wrong item is inside the box. So that'll be a total fail for this video if it is, but it doesn't matter, it's a short video. So let's get this thing open. All right, here we go. Again, if you just ran into this video, you never seen one of my videos, consider joining our little coffee club here. We make coffee related videos. We're building a little community. I'm easy to get a hold of. You guys can comment below and I'll make sure to answer your question, whatever it may be. All right, let's see if they send me the right one. I have a feeling it's the wrong one. All right, guys. Yeah, sure enough. No, this is the right one. It is the right one. All right, this is an ACAIA Lunar. Okay, so I ended up getting an ACAIA, guys. You have to have the proper scale for this machine. This is gonna get it done. You guys have seen my little bit of troubles. Again, let me get it out. So all along I've been using the Timemore. This is the Timemore Black Mirror Nano. Okay, it's the small little scale that they make for pulling shots of espresso. It's very high end. I gotta say, this is very nice. It's like, I don't know if this is some kind of hard plastic, but it feels like glass. When you put something on top of here, it's like if it was glass. You can kind of hear it. You see what it sounds like? It sounds like glass. So I don't know if it really is glass up here, but it feels like it, okay? And I have to say, it's very well made. I really like it. I love the automatic espresso mode that it has, and that's the reason why I kind of went with it, because I wanted to have that automatic espresso mode. It's obviously splash resistant and all that kind of good stuff. USB-C rechargeable. I love this little scale, but you guys have seen my struggles with it, and I have to find out. Do you have the same little struggles with the ACAIA Lunar? This is the top of the top. This is at the top of the food chain as far as making scales for home use. This is like if you go to a nice coffee shop out there where they cater to like specialty coffee and people actually doing WDT and all that kind of good stuff, you're going to probably see them using this scale. Okay, it's very high end. It's the top of the line. Everyone loves it. I gotta see, does it give you the same kind of issues that my struggles that I've had with this scale with the ACAIA? And that's the main reason why I got it. I gotta know. I have to know. Does it work like that much better? Do you end up with the same kind of results? I don't know. So we're gonna find out. Join the team here. There's gonna be some more fun videos where you guys will see me using this scale and to see if we run into the same kind of little issues, the same little hiccups as to this scale. I'm going to probably make my video that I did reviewing the scale along with the other a Timemore scale that I have for making pour-overs. That one is just perfectly fine. I don't need to upgrade that one. But this one, I did run to a couple little issues that I just gotta know. Do you get the same kind of little issues with this one, or does that all go away? I don't know. We're gonna find out. All right, so again, guys, let me apologize for the mess, but again, I've been filming a lot of videos. Again, I did a video on how to install the filter, the water filter into the tank of the Lelit Bianca. I did an unboxing on the Lelit Bianca, and now I'm doing the little unboxing on the ACAIA Lunar scale. Okay, so let's finish opening this thing up and see what else is in this little box. Okay, wow. Beautiful packaging. What else would you expect? And again, I gotta say, I really love my Timemore. It's not like I'm not gonna use it anymore. I am gonna use it, but this is a step up. This is definitely a step up. Okay, so the box slides out, okay? You have like that sleeve over the top. And then it opens up this way. Like so. You have some instructions, warranty card, it's covered by foam. Okay, there it is. Wow. All right, here it is. It's got some plastic and stuff. I'm not gonna remove all the plastic and stuff right now, but you see it there. Oh, it just powered on. I touched the button and it powered on, but there you see ACAIA. Initial boot up. Let me put it down. Yeah, it won't start. I think it won't start until you put it down and it actually, you know, has a solid surface. But okay, let's take a look at the difference in size first of all. So there's the ACAIA. Here's the Timemore. Roughly, well, the Timemore is a little bit bigger. Okay, it's a little bit taller and it's a little bit bigger all around, but not by much. Not by much. They're both equally stunning looking. I mean, I really like this one. I can't, you know, can't say I don't. I do. You see, that's the espresso mode, the automatic espresso mode. I plan on using this one the same way. Okay, so basically, you know, an unboxing video, we're pretty much done. If all you wanted to see was the unboxing, let's see what else we have in the box. So you have a charging cable. I don't think there's gonna be a little brick because nobody sends you one of those anymore. Lunar protection, okay. Non-slip protective, whatever this is. I don't know what's in here, but let's see. All right, and I knew that you got one of these little, a little weight like this. This is 100 grams. So that's to see if it's calibrated. Okay, again, I just unboxed this. I don't even know how all the different modes and all. This one, the same thing. You had to click a bunch of times to get it to do what you wanted to do, and it was just a little issue. You guys will see if you watch my video on my review of this scale, you'll see my little bit of issues I had with it. So, okay, let's see, 99.9. I knew it was gonna tear because it thinks you just put a cup to ready to brew coffee. So now it's looking for first drip, and then as soon as it senses first drip, it starts to time your shot and weigh your shot until you stop it, and then it'll tell you your final reading, how much coffee you got out and in how much time. So this one has the same automatic function. I don't know how to use it yet. I just unboxed it, but this is a perfect example of how this is supposed to go. So. But again, you see it's weighing perfectly fine at 99.9. I mean, 99.9. So, I mean, that's fine. You know, you're going to be just fine with that. All right, guys, the instruction manual that comes with the scale is absolutely horrendous. At least at first impressions. I mean, it didn't help me much with anything. I mean, it's horrible. I hope there's some online instruction manual or something I can download. I don't know, but even turning the thing on and off, is not very intuitive. Like with this one, there's a switch. You just turn the switch. I mean, that's the easy way of doing it. This one, you tap it to start it, and it's a double tap to turn it off. Okay, now it doesn't say on the manual how to turn it off. It took me a while to like pressing things and stuff until I figured that out. But so again, not very intuitive. All the different modes, it's not even described on the manual. So how are you supposed to know what these modes are? That's what I'm saying. There's got to be something online or something I can download here, because again, you know. But as you could see, it is calibrated perfectly. So the wrap and stuff that was on it, you're supposed to remove it first. And once you remove it, then it's perfectly calibrated. So it reads 100 grams. So just wanted to show you guys that. Again, figuring all the modes and all the stuff out, maybe I'll record another video as to the different modes and what to press and all this stuff, because even figuring out how to turn it off, you know, this double tap thing is not very intuitive. And even you could see, I have a feeling. So we wanted to know, like, how much better is it than the Timemore? Maybe not at all. Maybe it's worse. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, there it goes. So I don't know. I was tapping twice before and it wasn't reading it, or I wasn't tapping right. I don't know. We'll figure it out little by little. We'll figure this thing out. But again, my first impressions of like, you know, how it works and stuff is not intuitive. It's not very easy. The instructions are pretty useless. There's not much in there. So again, I'm sorry about the mess, but you guys know I've been filming a whole bunch of different things today and unboxings and this and that, but I wanted to include this with the previous clips of the scale, because again, it wasn't reading the 100 grams, and that was because it was in the wrapper. I kind of figured that when I was like, put the camera down and everything. I thought, man, maybe I got to take it out. And that is one of the things that it does say on the instructions, to remove it from the wrapper before using it. So once you remove it, it is perfectly calibrated and it reads 100 grams. So what to tap and how the different modes and what they do, not very intuitive. And the booklet is pretty useless unless, I don't know, unless I'm overseeing some obvious thing, which I doubt it. But I did download the app for the ACAIA app, because this scale does have connectivity. You can use it with an app. So maybe in the app, it'll make it easier for the functions and stuff. I hope so. If not, we'll figure it out little by little and I'll keep reporting back to you guys. So anyway, that's that. This one also, for changing the modes and stuff like that, was a little bit complicated, and part of the reason why, well, you gotta watch my other videos so you understand all of that. This one, again, I'll learn how to use it. Join our little coffee club here, our little team, and you'll see lots of videos of me playing around with these two scales and see what I like or don't like about them. And you know, that's what we do. We make coffee, chit chat a little bit, and it's just relaxing and something cool. So for those of you that are into the coffee hobby, yeah, hopefully you guys will join us here and we'll chit chat some more later. I do have to say, so far, with a little bit of time and practice I have gotten with it, you know, it does seem to work a bit better than the Timemore. You know, when I first got it, I was just so curious. You know, I have to find out, am I gonna have the same little issues, the same little glitches that happens on the Timemore? And I thought it was gonna be exactly the same. I really did. But so far from what I've seen, I do have to say that not quite. It is a little bit more responsive. The programming seems to be a little bit more in tune with what it is that the end goal of the particular mode that you're trying to use on the scale. So you guys know how I really love that Espresso function where the scale starts automatically timing the shot as soon as it senses first drip. So it weighs your volume of coffee coming out, and it also times the shot. And I really love that. Now that I have the Bianca times the shot from when you first pull the lever and you first start pulling the shot. So I can get a time as far as the total time of extraction, including the pre-infusion. That's what the Bianca gives me. And I can get the timing also from first drip. That's what the scale gives me. So the difference between the time on the Bianca and the time on the scale is your pre-infusion time. And since you guys know I'm really trying to get into those Slayer shots and learning how to do that well, so I like having both pieces of data. I think they both offer you a little bit of value. You can have your pre-infusion time separate from your total shot time, and your timing from first drip. So I think it's just a fun thing to keep track of. And moving forward, learning these Slayer shots, it is a valuable piece of information to see if we can, like taste any difference by extending the pre-infusion times or shortening them, and we can play around with both timings. So I think it's a fun thing to be able to use and keep track of. This scale, the ACAIA scale, also has connectivity. So there's an application on the phone. I have, again, very little practice with it so far, but it does seem to work well, and it's very responsive. We'll get more into this. This is not the video for that. It's just kind of like first thoughts, and I wanted to let you guys know what was in that little box. So yeah, I got an ACAIA Lunar. Curiosity got the best of me. I gotta know, is it that much better? Is it worth paying 3 times as much as the Timemore scale, which is already not cheap, okay? Because you can get a nice little, coffee scale from Amazon for $10. As a matter of fact, I'll bring that out too. So in a second, I'll show you guys all 3 of them. But, and then again, here's another thing. I'll let my first thoughts speak as to some of the like very non-intuitive things as to the Timemore. Let's get to the other counter. Let me make some coffee so I can be thinking properly here. And then this is a morning brew, by the way. I'm not wearing the hoodie, but it is a morning brew. It's quite early. I haven't had coffee. I've been up already for 2 hours, but I still haven't had coffee, and I really need it. So let's get over to the other counter. Let's pull a shot and talk some more about the scales. All right, so, well, first of all, before we even get started, I do want to say hello to a lot of the new subscribers. Thank you for joining us here on our little coffee club. We love having you here. I also want to make a correction. The gentleman that I kept calling Tony, his name's John. Sorry, John. But we have chatted back and forth a bit, and I'm getting to know some of you guys. And again, that's the part that I really love about making these videos, is the interaction with you guys and getting to know you guys. And I learn from you guys. You guys maybe pick up a thing or two from me, and it's just it's a little fun hobby to be into, something you get to practice each and every single morning if you like. It doesn't. It could get expensive if you go enough deep down the rabbit hole, but you can also, brew great coffee for, not too much money. You can get a V60 and do some pour overs, and it's a lot of fun as well. So we do both here. We do a lot of pour overs, but now that we have the new espresso machine, obviously I want to pull more shots. Today we're going to pull some shots. So, all right, but first let's talk a little bit more about the scales. So if you're gonna be getting, more into coffee, having a coffee scale or a small scale that you can use with your coffee machine is pretty much a must. Okay, so getting a scale is pretty much a must, because you wanna be able to measure the yield, how much volume you're getting in the cup. Okay, as you're brewing your shot. Because the ratio between the ground coffee and your yield is very important in espresso, okay? Most people, I think the most common ratio is a 1-to-2 ratio. So meaning 18 grams of ground coffee, that's a very common dose to start with, okay? And so the amount of ground coffee you're putting in your portafilter, that's called the dose. So 18 grams is a very common dose to start with. The yield, which is the amount of extraction you're getting, how much liquid you're getting in the cup, the yield is very common to keep it a 1-to-2 ratio. So 18 grams of ground coffee and perhaps about 36 grams of liquid coming out. Okay, so but a lot of people like going more to like a 2.5, maybe a 1 to 2.5 ratio, or a 1-to-3 ratio. 1-to-3 is 54 grams out, and 1 to 2.5, yeah, you guys do the math, help me out. It's early in the morning, I haven't even had coffee. But I think it's somewhere around 45. Most of the time, that's where I like keeping it, somewhere around 45 to 50 grams. So somewhere between a 1 to 2.5 to maybe even as high as 1 to 3 ratio. And that's where I like to be at. Now, what dictates the ratio you like is just basically just the taste. You know, just see what you like as far as flavor. Make sure that, you know, that's what you want to do. I mean, this is very particular to each person. And you know, there are some guidelines as far as making espresso, but then you kind of modify everything to, you know, depending what it is that you like. So it's you know, whatever flavors you like. Okay, so basically all you need is something like this. Now something like this is somewhere where I used to you guys know inflation, but I think they used to be like $10, but now maybe they're like 20. Everything you know, hey, it's what's happening, all right? So yeah, maybe you can pick one up for less than 20 bucks, one like this. Now the Timemore, when I bought it, it was about like $90. I haven't checked lately, but I mean, that's a big step up, right? Like less than 20 bucks, almost $100. So like 5 times more. Is it 5 times better? Well, as far as the look of it, I would say so. I mean, again, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, like I always tell you guys, but I mean, I don't know, I really like this one a lot more. Okay, let's turn them on. Okay, this one, you get the blue background and black numbers. You can read it like super well, so it does the job. How do you call it? The display is facing upwards. This one, if you notice, is on a slant, okay? And I think having it on a slant is a very smart decision, okay? Because if you wanted to use it for pour overs, which I don't, that's another explanation. I can't get into so many little details today. The video is gonna become another monstrosity. All right, but having the display on an angle is very smart, because if you use like a bigger brewer, and you have this kind of display, the brewer's gonna kind of cover the display, and then you can't read whatever's on there. But here, since it's on a slant, you could always read it. On camera, it looks like, because it's white on white, it looks like the numbers are a bit hard to read, but they're not, okay? I don't know how it's coming out right there, but in some angles, in some lighting, sometimes it looks on camera that it's difficult to read, but it's not at all. It's very legible, it's very easy when you're standing in front of it. Obviously, this one is more contrasty, and I would say this one's even easier to read, but you won't have any problems with this. Now, this scale won't even time your shot. You'll have to use like your phone to time. That's what I did for months, for maybe it was years before I got this one. I think it was years. So I didn't mind. I weighed my shot with this and I timed it with the phone. It works just fine. Now, as soon as I got this one of the reasons why I got this one, it's because of the automatic espresso mode. Okay, I know that that's not a big deal. A lot of people like to hit the button and start it themselves. I like it for it to start by itself, which is kind of cool to me. Okay, let me just give you a little glimpse of how that works, right? So, okay, let me start it over, because again, that's one of the reasons why I got the ACAIA, because this thing just does little weird things, okay? Okay, little annoying weird things. Moving forward, I want to see if this one does the same little weird things. So far, I have to say, from the little use I've gotten from it, it seems to be a lot more polished. Let's just call it that. A lot more polished. It just seems to work a lot better. So, and I did not expect that. I thought it was gonna be the same thing. And I thought, man, but I gotta know. So that's why I ended up buying it. All right, but let me show you what this does. Okay, so you start it, okay, and it tells you ESP. Okay, so that's the espresso mode. Okay, and as soon as that A starts flashing, it's an automatic espresso mode. Okay, so now when you put, let me show you guys. There's 18 grams of that Barazza coffee. That's what I'm gonna use right now. I wanna make a cappuccino. But okay, so as soon as you put your cup you're gonna brew into on top of the scale, it weighs the cup, of course, but then it tears. So if you see, it's just automatic, it tears, and now it's ready for you to start pulling the shot. As soon as it senses the dripping, it should start the time. And then what happens is, if it drips too slow, like sometimes, you're getting it starts very slow, So a lot of times it'll just stop timing, and that's another one of the little glitches. Now, funny enough is that as soon as I bought this one started behaving, and it hasn't done it ever again. So yeah, that is a funny thing. As soon as I bought this one, all the rest of the shots I have pulled on this one, which has been like at least like 10 of them, they've all have worked seamless. So it hasn't misbehaved ever again. But we'll see what happens moving forward. I'll use both, but for the most part now we're gonna be using the ACAIA just to see if we get any of the little glitches. So, okay, so as soon as it senses first drip, we're gonna simulate the dripping with these coffee beans. There's 18 grams. So it starts dripping, your coffee starts landing, you see it start, the time starts, and it starts weighing your yield. So that's how much coffee we have in the cup so far, and that's the timing. Now, if you go too slow, it's just gonna stop. It's gonna stop timing your shot, and there it is. It just stops, okay? That's the thing. If the flow is pretty constant and going, it won't do that. It won't do that. Even if you have little hiccup where it's not very constant, but it'll still work. But every now and then you get this, okay? And that is, to me, it's a little bit annoying. And I wanted to know, hey, does it do the same thing with this one? Now, if I do the same test on it now, I've already done it, is what I'm trying to say. I've already done it, and it does do the same thing here. It will stop, okay? But that's the thing where you see that it's a lot more polished, because it will stop, but this one stops almost every time when you're doing this kind of slow. This one doesn't stop every time when you're going kind of slow. Let's try it. Here's another very annoying thing, and if I show you if I do end up including, or maybe you already saw the little clip where I'm unboxing this is so non-intuitive as far as like just getting started with it, unless you have to read the manual or something, because if not, it took me like 10 minutes to turn the thing off, okay? You would think that this is the power button. You press it to turn it on, okay? You press it to turn it on, and then you would think that you press it again to turn it off, but that's not what happens. You would think then that you press and hold to turn it off, but that's not what happens. So there's no button, there's no nothing, so I know, I don't get it. But here, there's just a little switch. Why not just give me a little switch? You know, here you just turn it on, turn it off. As far as the look of it, I do have to say, I kind of like the Timemore better. I like the way the Timemore scale looks a little bit better. And again, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. You know, not everyone is gonna have that opinion. But I kind of like this one better. I like the way that the display is at an angle. I like the fact that I get the little switch, okay? The battery lasts forever. I'm sure this one will as well. The application that, you know, the connectivity part of it, you know, I gotta say, I don't care much. Maybe I'll learn to like it. Maybe I'll see some features in there that I really enjoy. The main thing I would like to see there is to be able to change the modes. And that's not one of the things I've found on the application. At least I don't know how to do it yet. I've messed with it very little. But if you can switch the modes between, again, that automatic espresso mode, which is the way I like using it, and let's say like regular just scale mode, so that you can dose your beans and then switch the mode real quick and have it on the espresso mode. Okay, doing that kind of switch on this scale is a nightmare. That's the reason why I got this other scale. First of all, this one's bigger and it's just better for pour overs. I do have to say. For pour overs, I like this one more than any of the other ones, okay? It times your pour over, it weighs your yield, the battery lasts forever, it has the switch, it has a nice display, everything just works fine, okay? So, and it's inexpensive. This one's only like 40 bucks, okay? So this one, I think this one's a deal, 40 bucks. This one's like almost 100, and this one is like 250. So there's a big step up. I'm expecting something from that. But, and again, that's why curiosity got the best of me. Okay, but anyway, that's why I have that bigger one, because when I dose to grind the beans, I use that scale, okay? Because switching modes, if I wanted to weigh it on this one, I would have to take it out of that espresso mode, the automatic espresso mode. And to do that, you have to tap the button. Now, how in the world did they come up with this? You don't tap the button like once. You don't tap it twice. You don't tap it 3 times. You have to tap the button 5 times to get it to go from mode to mode. So unless you want to be tapping the button forever, just leave it on espresso mode and get another scale. That's what I did. Now, if this one had the feature where you can switch the modes quickly on the app, then I say, hey, the app brings something interesting to the table, because now I can just quickly switch and wait. You dose, and then you switch to your automatic espresso mode if you like using it, and then you're ready to go. Now, one thing you could do on this scale, well, first of all, to switch modes on this one, you press the power button and you hold it down. That's why I didn't want to hold it down to show you guys, because it'll switch my mode. So that'll switch your mode. And then there's like 5 modes. So you got to tap and hold and tap and hold. And who wants to do that? It's almost just as bad as the 5 taps. Not quite, but almost as bad as the 5 taps. So if I could do it quickly in the app, that to me would be a great value. All right, so that would be cool. All right, but anyway, let's see how this one performs. And again, most of the time it'll end up doing the same thing. It'll just stop because I guess I go way too slow. I have only pulled a couple shots with this scale. Today we're gonna use it, but so far in reality, in like actual life, it just doesn't, it hasn't glitched so far. It's worked flawless so far. Another thing is the speed in which it reacts. Like you put something on here or waste it, tears right away, it's ready to go. This one, it's a little bit slower. Does that make a difference? No big deal. But in some instances, like let's say you're doing shot after shot, like in a fast-paced environment, like in a coffee shop. Okay, so you want to be able to go, now it's ready again, now it's ready again, and you can move quickly. Okay, so I could see a benefit in that. Not to me, but I could see it to someone else. So all right, let's try this thing. Let's start dropping some beans. Okay, we're starting to. Okay, it's going. It's going. Now I don't know my consistency if it's about the same as on the Timemore, but pretty much I'm going pretty slow. And so far it hasn't stopped. But again, most of the time it does stop. We'll see this time. Okay, there it goes. It stopped. It stopped. Now, one thing that is cool is that if I had the app, which I already did that, if I had the app, I could hit start again and it'll keep timing. So you can save it. If you're paying attention, you got your app going, you can save it. You could just hit start again and it'll keep timing. And you could see it keeps weighing. This one stops timing and weighing right away. So at least this one keeps weighing your yield. So now it just reset, it's starting over, so now it's completely glitched. But you could see right from just that there are some differences. There is some what I would call better. What do I want to call it? There was maybe a little bit more thinking into the programming and how this thing should react and work. It's gonna have to be real life situations when we're testing this thing over and over and see if I get that. Where again, the most annoying thing is either I didn't even start weighing your shot which has happened to us a few times. I started and then nothing. It just doesn't react, or it reacted late, like super late or something like that. But what you mostly get, that's only happened once or twice. What really most annoying thing is that, again, it'll just stop weighing your shot. Will this one do the same thing? Well, we're gonna find out as time goes. So today, let's grind these 18 grams. I'm gonna make me a cappuccino and we'll chit chat a little bit more back at the other counter. All right, so I can't wait for that cappuccino. I've been up for 2 hours, no coffee yet, waiting to get started on this video. So I got a mess today. Usually I like keeping things very tidy, but we're just gonna check. We're gonna check our dose amount first. Let me see if it's still 18 grams because I've been weighing these beans and going back and forth. Okay, we're just gonna use our little reliable $20 scale. Works just fine, guys. Just that's all you need. Forget all this other stuff. Unless it's a hobby, you don't need none of that. Okay, so if you're watching me though, most likely coffee's it's a hobby for you and it's already too late for you. You're way down the rabbit hole and you have a bunch of equipment, but it is what it is. All right, yeah, 18 grams. Actually, this one is, well, it's bouncing between 18 and 18.2. So maybe it's 18.1. So we're gonna roll with that. Again, this is that Baratza coffee, the Baratza Rosa. And it's awesome for doing milk-based drinks. It doesn't have hardly any acidity and there's some sweetness to it. It's just, you know, your typical Italian type roast. Again, it's not very dark though. It's kind of like a medium roast. Maybe medium to dark. Let's call it medium to dark. All right, so we are at 11 on the niche 0. Of course, on this channel, we always check retention. So, oh, something, look, I almost made a mistake. So let's tear this. Okay, now after I grind this in here, we should have 18 grams. All right, let's check to see if we have our 18 grams. All right, 17.9. Again, we're off maybe 0.1 or something like that. I don't worry about that. When it's that small of a difference, I don't worry about it. When it's more than 0.2, maybe 0.3, 0.4, then I have one of these little plungers that Iceman told me about. Give me a second, I'll show you guys that. So you can get yourself one of these little, I don't know, there's supposed to be some kind of therapy medical device or something. And you use it like a little bellows on your niche. Now what I don't like is that it's kind of messy. When you do this, there's like dust tends to go everywhere, and you know, I'd rather put another bean in there. But this is what I've been doing so that there's no mess. This technique seems to work. Let me show you guys. First of all, I get one of my little rags. I just cover up like this, okay? And now you can use this thing. And it minimizes, I mean, you're still gonna get a little dust here and there, but I do have to say it minimizes the mess. So let's see if we got anything else out. I'm glad that didn't, oh man, it turned off right when I went to put it on there. So I guess we're not gonna find out. I'm not gonna go through that trouble. I gotta have my coffee. All right, sorry about that, guys, but you saw we had our initial retention there before we did the little plunger was 0.1. So no big deal. We're gonna do some puck prep. Okay, let's start by drying the portafilter. Again, so far with the Bianca, guys, I have pulled a few more shots and every single shot has just worked. I don't know if it's magic. I don't know what these people did. I never expected this. You know, I always thought that it would be more difficult pulling shots on the Bianca than on the Breville, and no way. This is just way easier. Pretty much everything, you could just make it work. I mean, you have to be willing to do a little pressure profiling, but I think it's fun and I like doing those layer shots. So far, wow, just everything works. This dialing in has not been, I haven't had to dial in. Every single coffee just works. So I'm always, so far I've been somewhere between like 10 to maybe as high as like 12 for almost all shots. So if it's a little fast, you know, you go down a little bit, you know, but it still tastes good. It still worked. I haven't had the machine choke. I haven't had something that just flowed like, you know, in less than 20-second shot. That has not happened. So you guys know I like being more towards like, you know, longer shots, longer extractions. So my actual shot time to be somewhere around 30-35 seconds. And now that I'm doing these layer shots, then my pre-infusion is somewhere around 30 seconds as well. So, okay, so I've been doing this, WDT in the cup before even before even putting it in here. Okay, nothing stayed in there. It's my little dosing funnel or dosing rain from Normcore. Do a little more distribution in here. Now again, I still don't have a distribution tool. And you know what? I don't, like I always say, I don't think you need that. If you're doing good WDT, I don't think there's any reason to do any other kind of distributing. Just take your time, tap it a few times. Okay, we can remove this. Okay, now we just tamp. Okay, one last thing I like to do is to kind of feel here to see if it feels the same depth everywhere. Sometimes by looking at it, depending on your angle, you can't really tell. So still pressing is like the best way to do it, if you ask me. Okay, now in the beginning I kind of used the little brush. I don't really think I need it. You know, I take a look at it, but you know, I haven't been getting any coffee in there. I don't know if my technique has gotten any better. I don't know, but it's staying nice and clean. So, all right, let's lock it in. Oh, wait, got the puck screen. Again, the puck screen is just to kind of keep the shower screen of the machine clean. I don't think it does anything to the shot, good or bad. It's just, you know, just to keep things tidy, so your puck never sticks to the shower screen, or a lot of coffee starts to go up in the shower screen and dirtying things up. So I want to keep it clean, and I don't want to have to deal with that. So just use a puck screen. They're cheap, and you know, it's something that if you take care of it, it should last you forever, I guess. I mean, there's no reason for anything to happen to that. All right, we're locked and loaded. Let me get that. I like to have my milk ready before I start pulling the shot, so that the sugar has a chance to incorporate with the milk. I always put the sugar in and again, I use only 1 teaspoon for a cappuccino. I know a lot of you guys don't use any sugar, but when it's a milk-based drink, I like putting 1 teaspoon. Okay, I'm not sure if that's focused there, but that's, you know, about the amount of sugar that I use. So I fill the milk right to like pretty much right under the spout there. It's probably about 6-7 ounces of milk, out of which I use about maybe 4 or 5 ounces on my cappuccino and about 2 ounces of espresso. So it's roughly a 1-to-2 ratio, espresso to milk, with a nice layer of foam on top. So that's how that works. Let me get the milk in here and then we'll pull the shot. Let's get things set up, bring you guys in closer. Oh, I gotta get the other camera angle because I want to show you guys the pressure profiling as it happens. All right, so I think I got everything set up here and ready to go so that you guys could see all the gauges, all the timing and everything. I don't know with this scale in this angle. All right, I'm gonna try to hand hold. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna try to hand hold the phone because the little tripod I was using broke, and I had to put the phone like on something and I couldn't see it well. So I don't know. I'm gonna try to hand hold this and see if I could still get everything for you guys. So, all right, so we're gonna shoot for like 45 grams out. And again, we're gonna try to do like a 30-second pre-infusion. And the entire shot should take about a minute. So let's see if we can get all this to work. Put my cappuccino cup on there. Okay, we're at 0. Again, we start with the paddle at 5 o'clock. Okay, something like that. And as soon as I hit the lever right here, the timer will start, timing. The machine timer will start timing the shot, and the scale will time from first drip. But the whole point here is I'm gonna try to modulate the paddle so that I can get it to between 2 and 3 bar and hold it there until I'm done with pre-infusion. So let's see if I can get all this to work somehow. Okay, there we go. As soon as pressure starts building, then you start closing the paddle to get it right between 2 and 3 bar. Okay, a little more. Okay, we started first drip. I'm gonna let it go. Now I'm gonna go up, ramp up, get it to 9 bar. Okay, we're right at 9 bar. My pre-infusion was a little short. As soon as I get to the 45 grams, okay, we overshot it a little bit, but again, I'm holding the phone. It's too much for me, guys. All right, so we got 40 total seconds as far as shot time and 26 seconds since first drip. So, you know, the pre-infusion was a bit short this time. But we'll see. This is a darker roast, so as far as flavor, it should be great. But as far as the Slayer shot, wasn't picture perfect. If you want to see picture perfect, pretty much exactly what I was shooting for, check out the previous video to this one. I think that's what I ended up calling it, like the perfect Slayer shot on the Bianca or something like that. Check out that video. I did a better job as far as the timing than this one, but still, we still got a pretty nice pre-infusion. It was about 20 seconds, something like that. So let's go ahead and put the cappuccino together, and then I'll meet you guys at the other counter and taste it. All right, let me taste the shot. I took a sip of it. I forgot to talk while I was doing it. I'll give you another taste test. Yeah, traditional roast. You know, that Italian traditional flavor. Sweetness, almost no acidity. But you do get like that dark chocolate kind of caramel flavors, which I love with milk. So let's see if we get a little latte art today. I doubt it. Don't get too excited. I have bad lighting here in this angle, but let's see what happens.
I can't believe what I found when I let a little piece of you.
All right, it's ugly, but I got something. I think I took too long in the process, guys, setting up here. I had to get the camera off the tripod and all that kind of stuff. But let me show you guys. There it is. It's no big deal. But hey, with the Bianca, you always end up getting something. It gives you at least for me, you know, I've been able to get a little bit better froth on the milk, and it gives me a little bit more of that foam to be able to do latte art. So I have had a little bit better luck. So yeah, on the Breville it was even worse. Yeah, believe it or not. Let's go to the other counter and taste it. Man, latte art is just one of those things you just have to practice over and over. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's funny how some people make it seem so easy. But let's see how it tastes. I know it's gonna taste great because the shot tasted fine. So perfect. But again, like I always tell you guys, on the Breville, it was, you know, you're gonna make milk-based drinks. That's all you need. That's all you need. You can get great results from the little Breville with no problem. The Bianca, so far as getting those good shots, it's almost always. I only messed one up. I mean, think about it. I've used like 3-4 different kinds of coffee already and haven't had to dial in because just I'm still trying to figure this out. I don't really get it, but it just works every time. I imagine one of these days I'm gonna choke it, or it's gonna come out like way too fast, but so far it just hasn't happened. And I've already tried, I think 3 or 4 different coffees. Oh man, that's so good. I needed that coffee. Man, so yeah, moving forward, we're gonna use the ACAIA a lot more. And we'll see if we get any glitches. So far, I haven't had any glitches in real life kind of situations, right? When you're pulling shots, it's just worked. I haven't had any problems, no issues. Is it worth paying like 3 times more? You know, probably not. Like I always say, probably not. As a matter of fact, you could just stick with the Amazon scale for like 20 bucks, use your phone to time, and it's gonna be fine, okay? Your pre-infusion, you know, I'm sure there's other ways, maybe a little more difficult or complicated to get both timings, but I'm sure it could be done. There's gotta be something to those Slayer shots that it just, I don't know, the shots just work. It is very smooth, almost always. You know, there's something to it. I have to say so far, there's something to it. Those long pre-infusions, call it what you might wanna call it. Maybe you don't wanna call it a Slayer shot, call it something else, that's fine. The difference now, a blooming espresso is very similar. But on the blooming espresso, you pretty much stop the flow. Either completely cut it off or stop the pump in some way, so that initial pressure you put into the puck, it just starts to decline as it's blooming, right? So you're gonna add pressure, and as soon as you get, you know, I don't know, 3-4 bars, whatever it is you go to, then you cut it and you let it slowly, the pressure to drop off. And after the same thing, about 20-30 seconds, then you pull your regular 9-bar shot if that's what you're doing. So it's very similar. You know, I'm still trying to learn this pressure profiling and all that stuff. And the very first one I started that I wanted to get good at was the Slayer shot. And again, if you've been watching the videos, I already went through it. But again, it's basically a 9-bar shot with a long pre-infusion. And the shots end up being somewhere between 40 seconds and usually about a minute long. And half of the time is pre-infusion, half of the time is your 9-bar part of the shot. Okay, so if it's a minute long shot, then you're doing pre-infusion for about 30 seconds, and then you're pulling your 9-bar shot for another 30 seconds. This is a proper Slayer shot. While you're doing pre-infusion, they recommend to stay between 2 and 3 bars. That's what I've been doing. And they say if you start getting some dripping, that's fine. And as long as you get like, you know, maybe 1 to 2 grams of drips in the cup as you're doing the pre-infusion, that's still fine. You can count that as pre-infusion. And as a matter of fact, I've seen in some channels where they actually like to get a lot more flow than that while they're still doing pre-infusion. They wanna, I think what they did was ramp up the pressure slowly until they were doing a bottomless shot, so until it kind of formed the little cone that everything came together. Up until that point, they were still calling it pre-infusion. I don't know if that's a thing, but again, it's your coffee, make it your way, just have fun with it. Anyway, guys, you know, I hope I was able to keep you company. Again, welcome some of the new subscribers to the channel. I really appreciate each and every single one of you guys. Thank you for all the awesome comments, Carrie. Every weekend I look forward to your comments. Joan, we always have a lot of interaction as well. Now, John and Andrew, Jesse, Iceman, all you guys, thank you for for the comments that you have left me. Thank you for the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And yeah, hopefully I was able to keep you company and give you my first thoughts as to the ACAIA scale, and we'll see moving forward how it goes with that. See if we don't get any glitches. Maybe it's worth it to some of you guys, and maybe it's worth it to upgrade. I don't know, but I was just so curious. I was like, I have to know. Is this thing gonna be like perfect? You know, I don't think so. I still don't think so. The connectivity that the scale brings to the table, as far as being able to use the app and all that, is that gonna make a difference? We'll see once I get to know it better. You know, the main thing is I want to see if I could switch the modes through the app. If you guys know, man, let me know, because that's really what I would like to do, to just jump between modes. Because all that tapping, I'm not gonna do that. All right. Anyway, hopefully I gave you guys a little laugh here this morning and kept you company for a little while. I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my cappuccino here, and I'll see you guys next week. Take care.